Everyone in the service industry has a story, crazy customers, wild orders, and WTF moments. Do you want to start a tab? The podcast here to bring you those tales behind the bar. My name is Carl. I've been bartending on and off, mostly on, for the past 13 years.
My name's Riley, and I bartended for about 2 years.
Yay. And now you just drink
At bars.
at bars.
Yes.
You're really good at that.
And at home.
And at home.
You say that like I am an alcoholic. This is the bar every night. That's not true.
That's not true. Sorry, I didn't mean at the bar every night, but anywho, on this lovely little podcast, we like to read stories off the internet about the hospitality industry and then discuss, was there an asshole? Was there a hero? And then rate that story 1 through 5, 1 being your average story, 5 being a unique situation like you need to stop everything and tell someone now.
Right.
And usually those stories involve bartenders, but we are exploring more of the server side of things because we're all the same.
Hospitality industry is hospitality.
Right, exactly. Even if it's back of the house.
Right.
Because those fuckers.
They have some stories. Especially when they do interact with customers because you know that's somebody did something wrong. It is
so funny. Not funny. It is so fun to watch back of the house, like bring something out to a guest and like, here you go. But it's just so like.
Right.
You know, that's fine to talk to your expo like that, you know, or whatever. Like not in a demeanor, but just like tone, I guess. I don't know. Never mind. Anyways, and on this podcast, since we were adults, we like to enjoy adult beverages. And the other day I was at Sam's Club buying some groceries or a couple things. And I was like, ooh, ginger kombucha. That sounds good because my tummy's been tummy lately. And I'm over the age of 40.
You got to be regular.
I got to start being regular. Start doing the little things, right? And I like kombucha. You used to make it.
I love kombucha.
Mm-hmm. And so I was going to drink one today. I'm like, ooh, what if we do a Moscow Mule, but with this ginger kombucha instead? So we have Tinkerman's. They have an edition called Curiosity Bright and Complex. It has Asian flavors in there.
Yep.
We have a little Thai. I'm sorry, trying to combine the two for some reason.
Yeah.
Thai chili,
yes,
pepper, and lime juice and simple syrup.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
It's delightful.
It's basically just like a Moscow Mule, but just.
I mean, is it?
The blueprint of a Moscow Mule. Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
With our little surf side sips straws.
Yes.
They're amazing. This guy, go check him out. He does amazing work. He hand blows glass straws.
Yep. Made out of the same type of glass that Pyrex containers are made out of. So they are durable and heat resistant and dishwasher safe and all of the things.
They're amazing. So awesome. Would you like to go first or would you like me to?
I can go first.
Okay.
I haven't read in a long time.
Yeah, you haven't. We've had guests. Only when I can't read, you read. Which is every day.
So this comes from this Tales from Your Server subreddit called Don't Fight Your Bartender.
I mean, come on.
Posted 5 years ago by Mao Fire Gaming.
Okay.
I'm trying to blink the tears out of my eyes. It's the cat. All right, here we go. I've been working at a small local dive bar for 3 years now, and I'm good with the regulars. It was an ordinary Tuesday night, and I'm rocking it solo. Night ticks by, and people come and go, but I have a steady crowd of regs to keep me company. This rando walks in the door and acts all big shot, telling me he has been coming here for years, never seen him, knows the owner, Bob, owner's name is Bob, and that he tips well. Yeah, right, buddy. So I pour him a beer, a shot, and leave him be. But a few minutes later, he starts getting really loud and obnoxious, trying to talk to some patrons on my bar that clearly don't want to talk back. They seem to be able to handle themselves, so I leave it be. 20 minutes and 2 beers go by, and Buddy has gone from 0 to circus bear. He starts slurring and wobbling in his stool, so I cut him off and tell him and give him a big water. Now, Buddy is not having any of it. He knocks the water over and said he doesn't need to drink that shit. So naturally, I tell him he's gotta go. He refuses, so I eject him a bit more forcefully. Was this you?
I don't think so.
Now he's pissed. He's pacing back and forth outside the bar, screaming to come out and fight him at the top of his lungs. I just ignore it and go back to chatting with my regs, and eventually he gets tired of it and goes away. A while later, I step out for a smoke with one of my regs. I'm chatting, facing the bar to keep an eye on the patrons. Buddy apparently has been waiting for me across the street and sees his opportunity, winds his fist up and starts running full speed across the street. My reg gets a weird look on his face while I'm talking to him, looks behind me, looks at the sandwich board, looks behind me again, and steps out behind me grabbing the sandwich board. I turn around just in time to see Buddy go full speed right into the outstretched sandwich board that my reg is holding. Smash. You could hear his head hit the board. He fell back to the ground and just lay there. My reg put the sandwich board down. We flick out our smokes and go back inside. A minute later, Buddy gets up and slinks away. Never saw Buddy again.
Wow. I mean... So this guy's either on something, like he took a prescription pill, or just maybe he just has a lot of mental health issues, and just was like, on another world.
It's coming from experience with you, cutting people off when they are behaving that way is necessary, but very, very often unwelcome.
It's always unwelcome.
This dude Buddy had a grudge, and he held on to it for longer than I would have expected.
Right. It's kind of awesome. A regular and the bartender kind of like teamed up, because the regular was like, if the bartender does this, the bartender's going to get fired.
Or he just saw it coming because he was facing the right direction.
Oh, that's true too. Maybe just helping him out. Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't feel like the regular swung the board. It's just that he held it out.
Look, I'm giving you a couple seconds to see this motherfucker thing in front of your face.
Right. I see Buddy getting clothesline falling down.
What's that game you play when your kids? Red Rover, send Riley over it.
Very much.
You know how many times people just get clotheslined? It's like, how do kids not die playing that game?
I don't think they're allowed to play.
I doubt it either.
Anymore.
I doubt that anymore. But yeah, that's just weird. Because so he only had the one beer and the one shot before he took off.
No. And then there's 2 more beers after that.
Oh, yeah, but sorry.
I think. But yeah. 20 minutes and 2 beers go by, and Buddy has gone from 0 to Circus Bear.
Yeah, so either...
Which is a great line.
Right. We're stealing that motherfucker. Yeah. But, he say something, but just take a pause. So I think he either has to been either shit-faced before he got there, on some sort of medication, or has some other mental health things going on, or combination of everything, which I'm not judging. Like, it is what it is. But it's also like...
4 drinks, unless you don't drink ever. Maybe he's just a lightweight.
I mean, I just got called out for over serving a customer at the speed dating event I bartended. This thing only lasted like an hour and 45 minutes, and everyone got the max of 2 drinks and a shot.
Right.
In an hour and 45 minute time frame.
Right.
Person goes over to the other associated restaurant, and the other bartender and general manager thought I overserved her because she was acting goofy or loopy or just different. I'm like, no one got more than 2 drinks and a shot. And I'm sorry, if that is way past your max, then maybe you shouldn't be drinking that, because I can't tell. Like, and plus their last drink was 30 minutes before the event closed. So I guess
what did they do in between time?
So this seems, it's very similar to this, right? Like what happened in this short amount of time before or after that? Like,
where did Circus Bear come in, and how did they get there?
Right. God, I mean, if the guy was wearing a little hat, that'd be even better. But no, it's always fun to have those moments with customers. Like, okay, you saw what the fuck just happened, right?
Yeah.
And they agree, or obviously they were a part of the experience,
right? See, the wind up for this story sounded like it was going to be so much more entertaining,
right?
But it was kind of anticlimactic,
right? It's kind of flat. Yeah.
Like, Buddy did try to fuck people up, but he got hit by a sandwich board and then left. That's still a fun story, though.
Maybe he was just looking for a fight too. Maybe the girlfriend, he found out girlfriend or partner was cheating on him, and he just wanted to find a fight.
Your imagination goes great places.
Why?
I don't know. That's just a wild scenario for you to just pull out of nowhere.
That's what I'm here.
But yeah, Buddy absolutely was looking for a fight. He walks in the door, acts all big shot, telling me he's been coming here for years, never seen him, knows the owner, Bob. The owner's name is Bob.
Right. I'm like, you want to call Bob right now? Ask him. I need some.
Right.
But
I mean, completely backtracking here.
Yeah.
Buddy got what was coming from him.
Mm-hmm.
or what was coming for him.
Yep.
To him.
Yep.
Good story.
Yeah.
I think this gets a solid 3.
I was going to say the same thing because it's a little above average. I mean, are there stories of where guest patrons want to fight bartenders? Yeah, absolutely. But I think what makes this that 0.5 or 0.8 more than like a 2 is because the regular was out there and just held out the sandwich board. Yeah. The guy basically ran into it himself.
Right. I love it when people get what's coming for them.
Right.
I love it so much.
Right. Like you always say, play stupid games. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep, absolutely. And this was a stupid game, and he got a stupid prize, and I'm here for it.
You're here.
And Buddy absolutely was the asshole in the story. I don't feel like there's any other.
No, and the hero is the regular.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, the bartender did a great job of not escalating, which is fine.
That we know of. Correct. And that's just part of their job. They're not a hero because they're just doing their job. Right.
The regular coming in and like, you know what?
I envision it nonchalant too. Like he just like grabs sandwich board, holds it up like nothing happened, puts it back up.
Right. He's got he just lit a cigarette.
He's got the motherfucker hanging out.
I was like, let me just pick this bitch right up right here.
Right.
Yeah. He wasn't like, oh my God, guys. No, it was all.
It's like the matador and the cloth.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. That'd have been hilarious. That's hilarious.
But instead of a class, it's a sandwich board.
Oh, today. If you have a crazy story like that or a unusual story, we'd love to hear it. We do have a subreddit. Do you want to start a tab? There is a link in the description of any podcast platform that you are listening to. Yes. Thank you. Or if you are a verbal person, we love to hear your lovely voice. 563-277-0072. You can leave us a voicemail of a story. Or if you're a regular holding a sandwich board for some guy to run into, call us while it's happening. That would be fantastic.
Yes. We're still waiting on it. We're still waiting on a live story.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait.
Yep, exactly. So
minute by minute, play by play.
And speaking of Patreon and our subreddit, we have someone who left us a story that is not Iceman.
Woo! Woo!
Sorry, Iceman.
We love you.
We love you. You know that. But it's always fun to have someone else. Our hard work of just pounding this idea of people leaving us stories.
Yes.
It's finally paying off. So the gentleman who left us this story, we follow each other on Instagram and we've had random conversations for the past, 6-8 months. And he messaged me saying, I left this story. I'm like, all right, cool.
Nice.
And so he might be a future guest, FYI. But anyways.
So what's his name?
His username on subreddit or not subreddit on Reddit is the Fredloin5.
What?
Look at his last name on Instagram.
Fredland?
The Fredlin5. Sorry if I'm totally crushing or not crushing. I'm not crushing your last name. I am totally whiffing on it. So he was posted 7 days ago, so just a week ago. And and the
title.
Yep. God, I'm just.
Words are very hard.
Mm-hmm. The title of this story is Brandon Lied to Me.
Brandon lied to me.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to comment on the story, just go to our subreddit and you'll see it in that thread. I used to bartend at a small brewery in a suburb of Indianapolis.
Okay.
Colts. One Saturday, we had a total buyout of the spot for a wedding. This was a full day buyout and we were completely closed to the public. Signs were put out. We had hired valet, etc. One thing to note, this was not 100% formal attire affair. Ceremony goes without a hitch. We move into what we would call the reception. Everyone's partying, long line at the bar, etc. I happen to see a guy standing off the side of the bar holding a growler. I stop serving the line and go talk to him. I mentioned that we were closed for a private party, to which he replied, I am with the party. While the event was not formal attire wedding, I couldn't help but notice that the middle-aged man wearing a Let's Go Brandon shirt with his guy hanging out of the bottom seemed out of place. I asked him to be more specific, and while this is definitely on me, I asked if he was the bride or the groom. He stumbled on his words and he said the groom. Or I'm sorry. I asked if he was with the bride or groom. He stumbled on his words and said the groom. At this point, I had built up a good rapport with couple and flagged the groom over. I asked him if he knew Brandon, and he said no. Shocking, I know. I asked the man to leave, to which he got very angry because he needed his growler that night. He started getting very saucy. Our executive chef, as he started getting saucy, our executive chef, who was in charge of them, came over and had to escort him out. Turns out Brandon lives down the street from the brewery. He let us all know that he was going to call the police and start having cars towed because we didn't have permits for valet. But we did. Long story, not too short. Brandon was 86 from the brewery that day.
Man, entitled people.
Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. Like, it might look like just a normal day, maybe like with a party going on, because a brewery will do a lot of different things, right? Like, hey, you can come here. We can guarantee your people, but we're still going to be open to the public.
Right.
Because it takes a lot of money.
You have to spend a lot of money to close down a place for a day.
Because I work at a brewery and we've done that a couple of times, which I don't think we'll do anymore because
we built event spaces now.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, and it costs.
It's a pretty penny because when you think of the profits and revenue and, you know, all of the numbers that go in behind running a business.
Yep, absolutely. So I could see, you know, like, oh, I live down the street. I'm just going to go to this brewery real quick, go get my growler filled. Let's just step back and take a look from the guy who got 86, the Brandon, let's call him. Well, they called him Brandon, but like, so he lives on the street. Hey, I'm going to go to my brewery that's blocked down, a couple of blocks down, whatever. Get there. Okay, kind of looks like something's going on, but I don't see, I missed the signs, I missed the valet, I missed everything, which is fine. Because if you walk there, sometimes you miss things like that.
He said there were signs on the door.
Look, I understand, but people still miss signs all the time.
No. People choose not to observe signs.
Sure.
And people who choose not to observe signs are idiots.
Well, you married one, so.
You never choose not to observe a sign.
I also miss a lot of signs, so, you know.
Not on doors to bars.
Oh, so anyways, but he goes up to the bar because he also thinks, well, maybe it's just a growler. I just want a growler, whatever.
Which is a fucking entitled bullshit argument.
I know.
It's just a growler. I don't give a fuck. You're closed. They're closed. I don't give a fuck. Dude's an asshole.
I am not trying to I am going through his mind. That's all I'm trying to do is go through his mind.
Yeah, but he doesn't deserve to be empathized with. He's in the wrong, period. End of discussion. There was a sign on the door. He didn't read the sign on the door. He's an asshole. There was a sign on the door. He chose to ignore the sign on the door and go to the bar. Anyway, he's an asshole. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I understand that.
There's no reason to empathize with him.
I'm not empathizing with him. I am
trying to get into his headspace is the definition of empathy.
You know, Miss Psychology. I'm trying to make good content for our podcast, and you're just smashing it down like a bug on the fucking street.
Okay, first of all, I'd never smash a bug on the street. It's outside. It's where it needs to be.
That's true.
But also, this is good content. Don't be a dick. If you see a sign on the door, don't be a dick.
I agree.
If you don't see the sign on the door and they tell you to leave because it's a private party, apologize and then leave.
That's what I was getting at. He should have, when he said we're closed for a private party, that's where it should have ended.
Yep.
But he decided because he does feel entitled
prick.
Right. That was the whole point I was trying to get to. We just got there your way, not my way.
My way's better.
I know. Your way's always better. But I agree. It's just like, well, they all get so snooty and as if their one growler fill once a week or 3 times a week is going to make this business stay out of business or their one stupid Google review. But guess what?
Nobody gives a fuck.
Business owners will reply to that and give the full story because people who give shitty reviews usually don't give the whole story, especially on scenarios like this.
Right.
Because the guy probably said there was no signs. There was no way of knowing that,
Yeah, buddy, go fuck yourself.
Right. Exactly. So, no, we appreciate the story. Now, what are we going to rate this story?
Ugh. Sorry, what was the title again? So
Brandon lied to me. Saying that he knew the groom. So that's another thing too. I've asked people that same question, like especially when I worked at the Riverboat Lounge. couples, especially like during the rehearsal dinner, they might have like start a tab and go to the room next door and just say, hey, people who say they're on this tab.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone doesn't look like they belong in a rehearsal dinner,
right?
I'm not saying you have to be dressed up for a rehearsal, but I'm just saying I worked at a hotel where it's fancy and people just got dressed up a little bit nicer than normal.
Like you can still be wearing jeans, but have a polo on instead of a t-shirt,
an iron shirt or something like.
Yeah. Or like, don't come in looking like you just get off work.
Right. And there'd be people who walk through a different door and they see someone who just said to put it on the tab and they say the same thing. I'm like, who are you with? Like, I go, what's their name? And then they stumble because get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out. Yep.
And I'm like, haha, good one, good try. And I go, unless you can go talk to them right now. And then they like, tail behind the leg.
Right, between their legs.
And then I go, you can still order from me. I don't care, but don't pull that shit, man. Like, let's go. Like,
right, don't be a dick to other people. Like, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically stealing $13.
Yeah. Like this couple is here for their wedding and they're already spending money out the ass. And you're here trying to add to because so you can get a free fucking drink. If you can't pay for your drink, don't go to the bar.
Right. Absolutely. So
entitled people drive me up a wall. There are very few things that will make me as furious as people trying to get what they don't deserve.
Right.
Or
exactly.
You can get what you don't deserve as long as it's offered to you freely, but not taking it.
Right. Someone goes, hey, you want a drink? Put it on my tab. Don't assume that they're willing to pay for everyone's drink.
Right. And don't try to take something from somebody that you don't know. Like that's just disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. So on a story for me for this,
it can't be higher than a 2 for you because you literally just gave an example of people who tried to do that regularly.
Yeah, no, I know. I would say 2.2. Just
it's higher than a 2.
I said a 2.2.
But okay, please explain.
I just did, I guess, because I don't see that all the time happening where people say they know that bride or groom, you know, but also that the guy tried coming back at them like, I'm going to call the cops on you because you don't have a permit, right? Like they are, I don't know. It just seems like it's just a little bit tighter.
To me,
unique than just a 2 or
this could lose us some listeners. So if you want to cut this out, I'm giving you the opportunity to do so by saying this.
Okay.
But people who wear Let's Go Brandon gear almost all have this attitude. Almost all. I didn't say all.
Yeah.
But the vote was stolen, blah, 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 blah. I deserve this. I deserve that. No, you don't. Fuck off. And like, it's just like it's the same demographic as the Karens to me.
Right. Like people who wear that stuff, there's probably going to be some resistance or argumentativeness or this or that. There's going to be a little pushback on whatever you tell them.
Yep. And they're going to try to get, because the entity behind the merch created an atmosphere of entitlement, created an atmosphere of wanton hate being okay to exhibit on a daily basis.
Right.
Whatever your political leanings are, if you're wearing Let's Go Brandon gear, fuck you.
Right.
Because that's your attitude.
You're right. You could be a Republican and still be, but like the whole Let's Go Brandon thing kind of seems very extreme on certain issues.
And I have never had a positive interaction while acting in a service capacity with somebody wearing Let's Go Brandon gear.
Yep.
So I don't think this gets more than 1.5.
Okay. Yep. So there we go. Yeah. Well, thank you for submitting that to our subreddit, Billy. We appreciate it. And we look forward to having you on because this guy is a 2023 regional finalist of Patron Perfectionist, and he's a world-class US 2024 top 100 bartender.
Nice.
So his Instagram pics are pretty cool. Circle City Cocktails, if you want to go check that out. And yeah, just always remember, don't be a dick, tip your bartenders, and drink responsibly.